It begins like any other morning. A kettle whistles. Dogs bark in quiet courtyards. Cafe doors unlock with the familiar clatter of metal on concrete. Across Europe, alarms chirp on nightstands, nudging people from sleep into routines they could perform with their eyes closed. But then, a vibration on a bedside table. A notification badge glowing red. A headline too blunt, too absurd, too enormous to process. Unconfirmed reports of strikes near eastern borders. Most people blink, frown, swipe the alert away. Probably a drill. Probably misreported. Probably nothing. Social media scrolls faster than thought. Videos with shaky horizons. Screenshots of news anchors half-speaking mid-sentence. Arguments and comment threads. A flood of, can someone verify this? No one can. For a moment, disbelief hangs heavier than the truth. People stand barefoot in kitchens. Phones in hand, milk spoiling on the counter. The morning suddenly too loud, too shaky, too unreal. Europe wakes not to sirens, but to confusion. The first emergency alert arrives at 7:42, a tone no one has ever heard in real life, one that freezes breath in the throat. Government advisory, ongoing security situation. Stay alert. Await instructions. In apartments, people stare at each other from across breakfast tables. In cars, drivers pull over, hazard lights blinking in unison. In buses, commuters lift their phones at the same time, an accidental choreography of fear. Radio hosts stumble on their words. A teacher pauses mid-roll call. A barista stops steaming milk as everyone's phones buzz again and again, like an unseen pulse driving through the city. And beneath it all, life keeps moving. Trams run. Shops open. Children laugh in schoolyards, not yet understanding why adults keep checking the sky. Tension coils quietly, waiting for permission to unravel. By 10:30, normalcy begins to fracture. Supermarkets fill unusually fast. People who meant to buy bread buy 10 loaves. People who came for pasta fill entire carts. Someone no one knows who starts recording a long line at a grocery store. And within minutes the footage spreads everywhere, shelves empty, not because war is here, but because someone else believes it might be. Traffic lights blink out in small clusters across cities. Buses don't arrive. Train station speakers loop a message about temporary delays. Though no one explains why, governments try to project calm. Officials speak from podiums with measured tones, asking citizens to trust verified channels. But misinformation spreads like heat in a closed room, so fast it warps the air. Rumors of attacks in cities no one has heard of. Photoshopped images passed as truth. Voicemails forwarded from a friend in the military. The truth grows smaller and harder to hold. Routine collapses quietly. Before anyone hears a single explosion, at 12 o'clock, war feels both distant and impossibly close. No sirens. No smoke. No devastation in sight. Just uncertainty thick enough to taste. People stand outside offices, faces tilted toward their phones, waiting for clarity that never comes. Some try to work, fingers hovering over keyboards. Some wander home early, unsure why. Some gather in cafes for the comfort of shared confusion. Communications choke under the weight of demand. News apps freeze. Live streams stutter. Messages send late. Then all at once, a new kind of fear emerges, the fear of not knowing. Rumor becomes its own battlefield, its own weapon, its own form of collateral damage. No one knows what is real. Noon arrives not with violence, but with a hollow, electric uncertainty that hums beneath every breath. Around 15:14, something shifts. An email won't send. A banking app fails to load. A video call collapses into silence. Then, phone signal drops, slowly at first, then all at once across entire regions. The internet flickers in and out, like a candle fighting wind. Cities feel suddenly larger, louder, more dangerous, not because anything has happened, but because no one knows what is happening. Lines form outside ATMs. Though most machines display only a blinking error code. People try to pay in cash, then realize they don't have much. Shops close early, citing technical problems. Though everyone knows the words mean fear. Neighborhoods gather in courtyards and parking lots, trading scraps of information. A man with a battery-powered radio becomes the center of a small crowd. A woman prints out a paper map, something no one has done in years. Without digital life feels suddenly fragile. The blackout becomes the first true taste of war. A silence sharper than any explosion. By 19 o'clock. The sun dips behind rooftops, and the world grows colder. Streetlights flicker. Some remain lit. Some die. Some glow weakly, as if exhausted by the day. Curfew notices appear on emergency billboards, though few trust the timing or the accuracy. Shadows stretch long over empty streets. Inside apartment blocks, families cluster near windows trying to spot what isn't there: planes, smoke, movement. Every distant sound becomes suspicious. Every dog's bark feels meaningful. Rumors of attacks in major capitals ripple from door to door, none confirmed, all believed. Someone says the border is breached. Someone else says the government is evacuating entire regions. Fear becomes a language spoken fluently by everyone, yet tiny acts of unity appear in the cracks. Neighbors knocking on each other's doors. Sharing candles, sharing food, sharing news. Sharing silence. Human connection becomes the only reliable signal left. By 23 o'clock. The country is nearly dark. Power grids fail block by block, until only hospitals and government buildings glow like lonely islands of electricity. People sleep where they can in parked cars. On living room floors, wrapped in coats instead of blankets. The roads fall silent. Airports stand still. Windows radiate the faint flicker of candlelight. With no news, no noise, no certainty, imagination fills the gaps. Some expect the sky to burst open with fire. Some expect soldiers to march down their streets. Some simply hope to wake up to normalcy. Day one ends not with explosions, but with a kind of collective breath held painfully in the dark, a psychological impact deeper than anything physical. The understanding that life, as it was known, has already changed. Dawn breaks quietly on day two. The sky looks the same, but nothing beneath it does. Streets are half empty, half occupied by people moving with careful purpose. Shops remain closed. Schools are silent. Neighbors speak in low voices, as if volume itself might provoke disaster. Battery powered. Radios crackle with official messages, government still functioning. Border updates incoming, aid stations forming. Citizens urged to stay calm and cooperate. People gather in courtyards again, not out of panic now, but out of necessity. They share water. They compare notes. They form small task groups to check on the elderly, distribute batteries, gather blankets, care for children. A new kind of society takes shape, improvised, fragile, determined. Life has not stopped. It has changed direction. And in this altered landscape, resilience reveals itself not as heroism, but as simple, steady persistence. Neighbors helping neighbors, strangers becoming anchors. Ordinary people finding the courage to live through the unknown. Europe steps into day two. Not certain, not unafraid, but together, and still standing.